My dear friends, all of you be blessed by the divine. Now we are going to contemplate on the topic health as described by our Guru Tattvajnani Vedandhari Maharishi. A sound physical and mental condition is health. Mankind is provided with multifarious capabilities in physical and mental functions. He is the gateway of universal treasures. It is a pity that no man who lived so far comprehended fully the value of himself and implemented his worth of distinctive qualities in life and enjoy the full benefits. One must understand that the reason for this is that the universe comprises two distinguished processes and functions. One is physical manifestations and functions such as form, sound, light, smell, and taste. All these can be perceived through the sensory organs. In a four-dimensional comprehension of force, volume, time, and distance. The other aspect of universe comprises all intrinsic and subjective phenomena such as soul, magnetism, and the primordial state of universe, which is static state or universal being. These subjective phenomena these subjective phenomena cannot be understood by the conventional five senses. They can be realized only by the sixth sense when it is well developed by reducing the mental frequency through the practice of meditation. As not natural law, the sensory perception begins working from birth. All the perceptual experiences make the mind to work in the higher frequencies, that is beta wave, 14 to 40 cycles per second, which subdues the development of the sixth sense. For this reason, only the imprints of sensory perceptions become patent in the personality, which overcomes the and suppresses the blossoming force of the sixth sense. All the force and potentiality of the sixth sense is encompassed and added to the forces of the five senses, which becomes cause for unending desires to achieve and accumulate material wealth, fame, power, and unrestricted sensory enjoyments. Generally, all people are caught by this kind of web of illusion. No one, by own efforts, is able to get liberation from the clutches of such illusion. When mankind is provided with spiritual education, every person will lead life as a harmonious unit in the society. Such education should include knowledge of the secret phenomena, namely unified force, that is the static state, which is the primordial state of the universe. Number two, life force or soul. And number three, magnetism, which is the all connective phenomenon in the whole universe as a secret and sacred thread. This important education is a must for all people in their adolescence. Then only mankind can understand the human values and accordingly build up their character and personality to enjoy a peaceful and blissful life. To understand the full meaning of health and lead an exemplary life, we must comprehend both the objective and subjective principles. With such a noble perspective vision, with such a noble perspective vision, I am writing this monograph on health. The knowledge of health comprises the secrets of seven important principles of the personality. They are physical body, life force or soul, sexual vital fluid, biomagnetism, consciousness, mind, and the imprinting, storing, and reflecting process of all physical and psychic experiences. Only a perspective knowledge of these seven principles will enable one to understand the living process, lifespan, progeny, pain, illness, and death of a living being. Physical body. The physical body is a structure of associated functions of innumerable organic cells. In reality, every cell is a comprehensive, self contained living being and a dedicated laboratory of systematic function. All the cells in a physical body are arranged into rows with polarity so that the biomagnetism flows through and circulates within the whole body. The biomagnetism is a force of pressure, attractive or repulsive, according to the situation. The living cells of the physical body are the basic unit to transform the biomagnetism into electricity, that is, as sound and heat, and chemicals as smell and taste. As the magnetic wave has naturally five functions, namely flash, reflection, refraction, penetration, and interaction. The above transformations occur and persist continuously for a span of time. Life force. Life force is the energy particle. It must be remembered that the energy particle is a fraction of the static state with high speed whirling motion. Millions and millions of such particles circulate in an organism. From the speed of the whirling motion, a spreading wave is generated from each energy particle. When the spreading wave joins with the surrounding static state, it becomes magnetism with two inseparable qualities, namely attraction and repulsion. Thus, the physical body of any living being becomes a tank of magnetism. By the constant circulatory flow of magnetism through the cells, each cell gets polarity at both ends so that each clings to the next in the systematic rows. In the process of circulation of biomagnetism, every cell transforms a certain quantity of magnetism into sound, heat, smell, and taste to maintain the metabolic routines of the body, coordinating cells, organs, senses, and limbs. Pain and illness. Wherever and whenever any disturbance occurs by natural forces or by the wrong deeds of the person, the polarity of the cells is broken. The flow of biomagnetism is interrupted. Consequently, the stagnation of a certain quantity of magnetism occurs. This short circuits, transforming abnormally into electricity. Such Malfunction, that is, irregular and abnormal transformation of magnetism into electricity, is felt by the consciousness as discomfort or pain. When area of the polarity disturbance is small and lasts only a short time, it is called pain. When the disturbance in polarity spreads to a larger area and stays for a longer time, that is called illness or disease. Then what is death? Birth and death are natural, providential occurrences for all living beings. Every living being is born only to ultimately die. The interval between one's birth and death is the lifespan. A majority of people wish to avoid or postpone their death, but all are caught under the wheel of natural justice and die in a specific time, computed jointly according to six basic inevitable forces. They are heredity, heredity, food, thought, deeds, planetary movements, and actions caused by the conflicting imprints of mental shocks and pains. Thus far, it is obvious that no one has escaped the web of death throughout all the past ages. The reason is that no one fully knows the existence and functions of magnetism in the universe and the living beings. Only the one who is self realized can know all about magnetism through revelation. No revelator wishes to avoid his death except postponement for a certain time in order to fulfill a noble task. A revelator knows to his full clear knowledge that the idea and struggle and even success in avoiding death is worthless. In fact, any effort to avoid death will itself create a loophole to bring about death. When the sixth sense is developed to its perfection, the eventual result is revelation of all the secrets of the universe. In such a higher state of consciousness, the realities of the existence, functions, and results of life are understood, including the state of life before birth and after death. All these are known as one part of the play of magnetism in the universe. Only the characterized magnetism continuously flowing from generation to generation through the sexual vital fluid or seed proliferates the cells of prescribed qualities in a living being and arranges them into rows with polarity. All the limbs and senses begin working cooperatively and coordinate with one another. This is labyrinth process of magnetism in all living beings. As and when biomagnetism becomes insufficient in its minimum critical level for any reason or completely dries up, all the functions of limbs and senses cease gradually. All the characteristics of the living being are concentrated in the biomagnetism, which is carried over to the progeny through the sexual vital fluid or seed. The sexual vital fluid is the main repository and charging medium of biomagnetism. When a major short circuit occurs in any part of the body, The biomagnetism is depleted by transforming to electricity beyond the tolerable level of the cells. As a result of it, as a result of it, so as a result, it cannot flow normally and stagnates in the sexual vital fluid in the sexual glands. This deteriorates the sex gland and as a result of the entire and as a result the entire stock of seminal vital fluid is excreted from the body carrying the characterized biomagnetism. This is the physical event of death. Magnetism is a great mystery in the universal play of nature between the unseen primordial state of nature and the perceptible universe. The mysterious, ineffable cord which penetratively links everything is magnetism. Now is the proper age for mankind to know this great secret of the universe. Because of the advancement of sciences and education. In short, I have given a clue to the scientists and research scholars regarding the significance, quality, and character of magnetism. It is vacuum, it is particle, it is wave, it is magnetism, it is mass, it is pressure, sound, light, smell, taste, and mind. And penetratively, it is consciousness. My exposition may seem puzzling, but in fact, it is 100% truth. In writing, I cannot convey a complete picture of the great providential secret phenomenon, magnetism. If any research minded persons are inclined, I am willing to explain personally. I will explain magnetism in simple colloquial language to be understood by the general public. Magnetism is a mystic phenomenon penetratively filled everywhere and in everything as a life cord. It comprises four core principles of the universe. Number one, static state, that is pure space. Number two, energy particle, which is the tiny fractional whirling part of the static state. 3. Spreading wave, continuously generated by each particle's whirling motion. And 4. Penetration of the spreading wave into space, filled in the entire universal field. As the result of the above four qualities, magnetism has the evolutionary potential to be physically transformed into 6 modes. Number 1, pressure. 2, sound. 3, heat. 4, smell. 5, taste. And 6, mind. Altogether, the above 10 dimensions are the inherent qualities of magnetism. Among them, the first 4 are the inseparable, essential, radical features, and the other are momentary, resultant manifestations, appearing only to disappear. When I mention here a static state that is supremely spoken as God by the revelators and divinely mentioned as Brahman by Vedantins and vaguely searched for as unified force by the scientists. Magnetism can be studied in two aspects. One is universal magnetism, which pervades the entire universe as mentioned above. It cannot be demonstrated to the perceptible to be perceptible to the senses, even though even through sensitive instruments. The other is biomagnetism, which is the architect, sustainer, and technical engineer of physical and mental functions. Every living being has a separate, localized working circuit of biomagnetism. Let us proceed to get a clearer picture of magnetism. Envision the universe. Within it, you can see millions of masses, stars, and planets, etc. Whatever the kind, shape, or intensity of any mass, it is nothing but an association of fundamental energy particles. Thus, there is nothing but space and energy particles in the universe. Be blessed by the divine.